Hi there and thanks very much for joining me. I'm Dean and this is Woodwork Journey Channel. Today we're building this. Now this is the sled to go on top of the table that I built for the drill press the other day, and that will allow me to cut holes in things directly down, and I can be pretty accurate with that, and that's what I needed to do to make something repeatable and make something easy to make. So this essentially is something that is adjustable. You can adjust the angle for it and do all manner of things on this. Now to get to this point, because I don't do plans, because I'm horrible at that kind of thing, I've made this up as I go along. So the end result kind of works. It kind of does what I want it to do, but it was a hell of a challenge getting here. So I'm hoping that I can edit this video together to make sense in some way and not take 4 hours to do it. But yeah, I mean, it's a basic little thing. It might be something that you can buy elsewhere. It might be something that there are other tutorials for that I've not seen. But essentially, it just means that you can put this at whatever angle you want, and you can put bits of wood in there and drill straight down while still having it supported to make it repeatable and safe. The only thing I don't add to this is how I clamp this to my table that I've made for the drill press. But without any more ado, let's get on and fingers crossed on this one. If you get through it, please give me a thumbs up, because this has taken me forever. Those of you that watched the last episode of the Can a Woodworker Make Money know that I made this prototype for the phone stand, which was trying to give me an idea about how to get rid of the back there. And what we did was we figured out a way of putting magnets in there and a dowel to hold it in place, which works brilliantly. I have got some thicker and harder core magnets now, which is brill. However, my concern, and we built a table for the drill press last time, but my concern was being able to tilt this so that could be horizontal, so I could drill straight down into it rather than just drilling at an angle. Because of the way that it goes in, it was just going to be awkward to do that. So what I need to do is make a jig to allow me to be able to tilt that back at a specific or variable degree, and then I can make repeatable cuts time after time after time for the manufacture of what will be the phone stand. So that is the idea at the very least. So what I'm planning on doing is I've got this piece of plywood. I've made a bunch of stuff out of the rest of it. So, I mean, this looks like this is probably going to be 18 mil thick, but you can see it's got some massive voids and stuff. I don't know if that's going to come up, but yeah, some big old voids going on there. So it's clearly not overly special plywood, but we're going to try it all the same. And with this piece, we're going to make everything that we need to do, and who knows, there might be something to learn along the way. If you're a beginner, if you know what you're doing, I can almost assure you you're not going to learn anything, but the journey might be a fun one. Right, let's get into it. Okay, so I have no idea whether this is going to work or not, but my plan is, so we're going to have a flat piece of plywood on the bottom, which will be the base, and then we'll have an arced thing going on there, like that. That'll then have an adjustable arc going on in the middle of that. And on the other side of that, where you've got the thing, that archy thing, you'll have a bit of wood sticking up with a little shelf like that, and this will be able to move back and forth. Okay, so that's the plan, or it might go the other way around, so it can just move back. Yes, that's what we'll do. So it'll go woof like that. That's the thing. This is some quality drawing going on right here, by the way. So that will be on a little how's your father going along there. This is the extent of my design. Do you know what? Let's just build it. Right, so this is the bit of plywood that we're going to be using, and let's just have a little think about it. If I'm going to have two stands either side, if this is going to be the base, I'm going to have a semicircular or a quarter circle stand coming up there and possibly there, and then something in the middle. I'll probably make everything out of this. I've got another bit of ply right here, which might do the trick. So let's just do that. That is 14 mil, something like that. Right, so if that's 14 mil, 2 14s, 30. So that means we've got to have at least, well, 2 14s are 28. I get that, right? I'm not that stupid. I'm close, but I'm not that stupid. So then I want to have, I don't know, probably that much as the base. So we'll take that to 10 centimeters, like so. We will draw a line between the 10 centimeters. Again, completely irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, but we'll do 14 mil or 15 mil there. 15 mil there, there, and there. That isn't a straight edge. As long as we're aware of it, we can deal with it. Okay, so don't know if you'll be able to see that on camera, but we've got a line there, a line there, and a line there. That should be the sizes that we're going to be needing, because that will ride in there, as will that, and yeah. Let's carry on. You'll see where I'm going in a minute. Right, here's a trick I've just figured out for doing some semicircles, circles, or whatever you like. I'm just going to get some masking tape. If you don't have a compass, if you have a compass, that makes life significantly easier. Or you could use string, but I haven't got any string to hand. That's a little bit stronger than normal because it's all folded over. Then we are going to, let's just separate this out so we know what kind of sizes we've got to play with. We'll pop a brad nail into the corner just to make sure that that's held the folded over masking tape down. Now I am going to make just a little hole like a millimetre in size, and the idea is at this point I'm going to get my pencil, stick it in the hole, and then that is going to be a perfect quarter circle. See that? Wallop! Look at that, look! What? Then I'm going to do another one about here. Again, numbers, completely arbitrary, irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. Same principle. Okay, then trying to keep everything in the same position. We then move the brad nail to the other corner, and that's the second one. So now to the bandsaw to cut these out. We'll trim it up on the router, but you could do this on a jigsaw or whatever you've got. So let's just cut these shapes out roughly. That gives us 2 semicircles. Semi, quarter circles, a semicircle. It gives us that. Okay, now we have this line in here. What we could do is drill a hole here and a hole here and then connect them up with a jigsaw or whatever you've got to hand. You could do it with a fret saw even, but I'm not going to use the drill press for this. I'm going to use the router table, and that'll also allow me to tidy up that. But just if you haven't got a router, you could do it by hand if you wanted to. Okay, so first of all, now we've got these quarter circles. We're going to use the hole that we made for the brad point, or with the brad bit, and we're just going to drive a 5mm hole into there so it'll fit on my jig in the for the router table. I'm definitely going to have to make a little sacrificial plate for this little tabletop. So what I've got going on here is a really simple, just a thin bit of ply, a couple of 5mm holes drilled in there, and a bit of wood as a stopper on the back. And that can go over the top of my router table. I can then move this dowel up and down depending on where I want it, and that will allow me to cut whatever type of circle I want to make with this bad boy. So I'm just going to pop this on here, and then away we go. We can see that there is, I could drill another hole a little bit further back to do this, so it's a little bit easier, but do you know what, just to save time, because I'm sure this is going to be a longer video again, we'll go at it like this. Okay, so now I've lowered the blade a little bit just to be halfway through more or less this, because it's a little bit dodgier to do this than it was before, because I've got to lower the piece on top of it. Yeah, let's see how we get on. Not ideal. I did have this move. I should have clamped this down, and we've gone a little bit wide there, but shouldn't be too much of a problem. Let's carry on. There we go. We've got one which is significantly better finished than the other, but yeah, they should both do the same trick. They are the same size, the holes are in the same place, everyone's a winner. So all we've got to do now is clean them up a little bit, and then we can stick them to a bit of wood. To clean up this kind of chaos, I think one of these sort of sponge sanding pads are great, because you can just kind of get it in the hole. And again, we're not trying to be too sort of precise on this, because there's no need to be. Alrighty, so how are we getting on? That's going to go there, that's going to go there. Can you see what it is? Oh no, you can't say that sort of thing now. Right, so I've drawn a line across the bottom there, so these end up in the same place. The space that we're going to go between up here is about 70 millimeters. So we're going to cut a couple of 70mm pieces out of some of the remaining board, and let's see how we get on. Right, so I've just cut these two pieces right here, which is going to be our little base. So they're going to be in a little L shape like so. That is going to be sitting right about there. We're then going to have boom, and boom, and then we're going to be able to tilt this back, and it's going to obviously have the base coming up with it as well, so we'll be able to tilt it back at whatever angle we want to make sure that we can drill stuff at angles. Okay, so here's the plan with this. Now my drill doesn't have enough throw to be able to go all the way through this, but I mean it would do if it was by itself, but no, I can't move this all the way down, so this will only go to about halfway more or less. So what I'm going to have to do is do this in two passes. So what I'm doing is I'm just attaching a piece of wood there as a stop block, and then we can go up against that, and hopefully we should be able to do this fairly straightforward. Alrighty, so now we've got a hole that goes all the way through there, and that's what we want, but we are going to put a dowel in there, and that's going to fit into this little puppy as well. Now for these, I could glue them into this section, and I might do at some point in time, but who knows? It's not necessary for the moment, so let's crack on. Right, so I've not pushed them fully in yet. There's still some gappage going on, but we can see the idea of how this is going to work. So that's going to be sitting there like so, and then we're going to be able to tip this back and get it at the angles that we want it to get it at. But we are just going to have to make sure that we channel out a small little groove going on in here, as well as round over the corners underneath this flat piece. If you're not sure why I'm cutting this groove out of this, all will become apparent in a moment, but let's just get this in the right place. And that's what we've got going on right there. Now what I'm going to do is just give this a little bit of a round over just on this section right here. Doesn't need much because we've just cut out a groove to give it some relief, but just a little bit. Little bit of a round over there, would like more, but I hate this sander, so I'm bored with it. So I'm going to glue and screw this together, but I mean these things, if you've got dodgy fingers, the caps on these are near impossible to get off. That's why I've got a glue bot, but nonetheless, come on Type 1, is there an easier way we can get these things off for those of us with dodgy fingers? So we're going to do the old glue and CA glue trick. So pop some regular wood glue going on there, some CA or super glue going on right there. What we'll do is we'll spray the end of this with the activator, pop that up, stick them together, get a square in there as well to make sure that we're bang on, hold it for a couple of seconds. There we go, can now tidy up the glue, and we know that that's square, job's a good one. I'm going to throw a screw through the back of that as well, just for a little bit of extra safety. But that's that. By the way, the glue that I use is not sponsored or anything like that, but it's this. You buy these in a set, and I think I just got 5 pairs, so the activator and the glue, for about 22 quid on Amazon, I think it was. And I've been through a few of these now, and they seem to be fine. You do have to unblock the glue from time to time, but you know, you expect that. Still, not bad for the money. Right, so I haven't stuck anything together yet, but I have made a couple of changes as I've been messing around with it. First of all, I've got rather than going straight into this block right here with the side screws, because this is plywood, I think a bit of hardwood stuck to the back of that will probably be a better idea. And I've also, underneath there, I've just channeled out roughly. I've done a quick bit of channeling just so I've got plenty of space for everything to move where it needs to move. So in theory, this means that once everything is up and tight, I should be able to be sitting there like so. This will just bridge the gap ever so gently, and then I should, in theory, be able to turn that down like so, and we've got that angle to that angle. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stick this to that, these to that, and then see how we get on. Oh, one other thing, I've also added metal dowels to the underside of this instead of wooden dowels, just because they were the wooden ones were getting a bit too sticky. What I'm also going to do, actually just off camera, is I'm just going to throw a bit of wax on it just to see if it helps it run a little bit more smoothly. Use some of Rag & Bone Brown's wax, I think. We'll see how we get on with this puppy. Right, zero that out. Pop it on here. That's the 30 degrees we wanted for the, that's the 30 degrees or thereabouts that we wanted for the phone holder. So we'll tighten these up like so. And there we go, golden. We've now got a 30 degree thingamajig. Let's see how it works. Okay, so I've cut that 30 degree angle there. We've got that set at 30 degrees. So now we can just pop that in there, and we can see that we've got a flush top going on right along here. So now that should mean that I can get some 6mm holes in there pretty damn easily. So let's just give that a crack, shall we? If you like this video after all of that aggro and you wait till the end, first of all, thank you very much. And please, secondly, hit the subscribe button. That'd be great. Thank you very much, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye. So today we are just check 1 2, check 1 2. Dean build something, or has a go at build. Hi and welcome back to Woodwork Journey. Today's episode should be entitled something like Dean builds another thing that he might need for a job that may already exist, but his inexperience doesn't tell him otherwise, and he hasn't got any money anyway. Or something catchier. Oh, you fucker.